Hello, everybody. Welcome back to a special surprise live stream uh, as we review AEW All Out from this past Saturday. Um, technical issues, to say the least, on Saturday on John's end, getting the stream to work. And what you didn't see today before we went live, we wanted to do just to record and put it up. But Zoom was acting fugly. Audio was choppy and sounded like a robot having a seizure. So we just went the safe route and went to a live stream. I hope the audio levels are okay for you guys. But anyways, let's get into All Out again this past Saturday. John, I obviously the people watching, I wasn't able to watch it live. I had other plans for the day. You were keeping me updated on the show, basically giving your thoughts, basically spoiler free. You would say if the show was not your favorite.
No, and it pains me a lot to say this, but this was probably the worst AEW show I have seen. And it's not to say that everything on the show was terrible, but there were just so many things that went wrong here. Whether it was just from the overall recklessness to the show just being far too long, to where they placed some of these things on the card here. So there was a laundry list of things that I can point to for myself, that I just didn't think that it was a very good show, especially when you compare it to their past pay-per-views, especially when comparing it against Double or Nothing, which was a way better show, and just flowed better. There is just no reason why there should be 9 matches on the main card. There's no reason why this show should have been 4 hours long. Like especially in the pandemic. And I get that we that they had some fans in attendance, but it's, I mean, like, you could tell that crowd was completely exhausted, and that was also a big issue as well, Matt. Was just it was so freaking hot down there that it zapped any energy from the crowd. It literally felt like that those guys, that those wrestlers were essentially working in front of no one there.
Yeah, even the people, the wrestlers ringside were pretty quiet for most of the night. There was no excitement. But yeah, they opened the damn show with Big Swole versus Britt Baker in a call it cinematic match, if you will, at dentist office. The first thing I wrote here, painful.
Yeah. I have no idea why they started off the show with this match. I have no idea why this was even bumped from the buy-in on the main show. Like, whoever made this call, like, you I'm not sure what you were looking at. This was just bad. Now, thankfully, it was only about 10 minutes, but
still felt longer.
It just, like, it just, I could not wait for this thing to end. Thankfully it was just that, but yeah, it was horrible.
I wrote, who's the ref telling to ring the bell in the beginning? And like, he's looking down the hall and saying, ring the bell. It's like, who's ringing the bell?
Yeah.
I wrote, worst fake fight I've ever seen cinematic wise. And I saw Money in the Bank, the Swamp fight, and whatever the Street Profits versus the Viking Raiders was.
Yeah, it's just I mean, like I don't know. I don't know how you feel about these about the cinematic matches, Matt.
I
But
like them overall, but if done,
I'm
this
completely
wasn't.
over the I'm completely over them.
This
Like
was
this,
really not even cinematic. This was just I
horseshit.
and Britt Baker had that drill and was going to drill and Swole, and there's like I wrote down there's no urgency with this is like with the same thing we criticize people criticize WWE announcers
Yeah.
were there's I wrote no urgency with drill from the announcers.
Mm-hmm.
It was like they were just having like Britt Baker's gonna drill into Brick's Full and fucking Excalibur
Right.
is joking around.
And by the way, that was also a major criticism about this show too. Was the commentary was just
It was worse.
and abomination. It was
They
in
all took me out of it.
um like Excalibur and JR specifically. They were just dreadful all night tonight, and
Tony wasn't his best either. I have
he
to point
wasn't,
down here.
but man, like just like Excalibur and JR specifically, they just had a very off night to put it kindly.
I don't know. So, what was it? Big Swole won, I believe. Yeah, she gassed
Britt Baker, yeah,
Britt Baker after Britt Baker gave Novocaine to her own leg.
yeah, and that looked really bad there too. So,
and Reba doesn't know who Big Swole is when she walks into the place.
Yeah, I just let's just move on, please.
Yeah. Well, here comes the Palin cleanser. Jurassic Express versus the Young Bucks. Holy crap! Big departure from what the garbage we saw in the beginning. We talked. Why didn't this open? I have no clue.
I have no idea, but this is great. Matt and like Nick work so much better as heels to me, Matt. They're being way more serious now. They are just it's a big difference to where they previously were. And like Jungle Boy continues to impress me. I was so happy when like Matt just super kicked the absolute hell out of a Marco stunt there. That was a plus.
Go away. I wrote Marco stunt can go away.
Yeah. Nothing to really complain about.
I have some stuff.
Okay. I'm sure Matt and like Nick win as they should. And we'll see where things go with them going down as heels now. So
one good thing I wrote down I said love the spot when I don't know what Young Buck I wrote when a Young Buck super kick Luchasaurus right as Drunken Boy dive for the tag. I like that spot.
Like Nick Jackson, that was, by the way.
They all look the same. Some criticisms. An otherwise match I enjoyed. I'm not saying the match is terrible. There's just things I noticed that to me either didn't make sense or look slightly bad. At one point, Luchasaurus chokeslammed one of the Bucks, and it was going to do it again on the other one. And as he brings one up, the other one does like a backflip and lands on his partner. I think as Excalibur is trying to say that it was like on purpose by Luchasaurus, but it just didn't look.
It just looked really unrealistic there.
Yeah, it didn't look right. One point I wrote Luchasaurus didn't you see a Young Buck try to break up the pin? He was like laying there at one point. I forget what point in the match, and I'm like, you're right, get up. He's like a foot away from you. Little stuff like that, and Luchasaurus diving into the crowd. You would have missed him anyway. Pretty much, you would have missed him anyways. But there's the criticism. Otherwise, I enjoyed the match. Obviously, comparatively to what came before it. We get the Casino Battle Royal. I wrote, what the fuck are these rules?
And as I text you, you must be not paying attention to the prior pay-per-views. Have you there, buddy?
No, and convoluted as I was listening to him because I forget. I'm not. And I'm
Okay,
listening
here.
to him like
I will explain them.
no, I understand it.
Okay,
but like when as they're explained it, it just seemed like it was way too complicated for a battle royal. Like the concept, I hated the explanation. I was with Sonny eliminates Jake Hager ? I didn't buy that 1 second. And Sonny, I'm sorry, Sonny. I don't like how she works in the ring. It's like she's walking through a field of daisies with the punches. We talk about people laying stuff in. There's no laying in from Sonny Kiss. The big thing you told me to look for, and you said it's blatantly obvious, was this big botch. And what a way to debut Matt Seidel. Comes in, immediately goes for his whatever
shooting star
press, and just goes off and slips, and he's just flopping like a fish and out of water in the air.
Like that was like Sin Cara pad. Like it's just, like I was just like, did that really just happen? And but the match itself, I didn't have too many complaints about.
It was bad overall.
And as I told you, the one thing I just did not understand was how Darby got eliminated. Why are we putting him in a freaking body bag with thumbtacks?
He got tossed over the top ropes.
Right. Yeah. Which is fine, but it's like, did we really need to really do that? Like, and people will say, well, like it's part of his character of him being a fearless and stuff. I'm like, cool, but
I'm surprised he wasn't more hurt and more bloody.
It just like this. It was just really unnecessary.
Thumbtacks are in the ring after.
Yeah. It's just
I wrote. Tony didn't know what month it is. He said something about it's Labor Day weekend. I went, Tony, it's Memorial Day weekend. I went, Tony, it's Labor Day weekend, not Memorial Day weekend. Mm-hmm. I remember I said that. We talked about the body bag, and I just Jake the Snake, I swear, is getting worse by the show, because at one point he has that bag. And they're Eddie Kingston and was it probably Archer up on the top rope, and I don't know if he did it early. He's just standing there going like,
it's, man, like he's been like not good this last month. It's I just if he doesn't start to amp it up a little bit, I mean, Tony Khan and them might have to have a tough conversation, because if we're being perfectly honest, Archer, he doesn't exactly need Jake. Archer, he can perfectly cut any promo on his own. It's more so of the presentation with him as a character, but obviously Archer wins, which I kind of felt that's where they were probably going, which once we found this out, I felt like there was no way in hell that MJF what's going over here. Like it's I was like, okay, there's no way that they're doing it MJF versus Archer. So that was the only bad thing about this, which is why I kind of wish that they would have saved this for Dynamite, so that
something else.
Just so that because then you're just plainly saying, oh yeah, we are definitely are not getting a new champion here. So.
So next we get the Sammy, Guevara, Matt Hardy Broken Rules match. The beginning, Matt Hardy is out by the field, and he's looking for Sammy, and Sammy just comes around the corner by the field with the a golf cart, and he starts going. Hardy runs away. He gets away, and they pan, and Sammy is going. I wrote, "My grandma can drive faster, and she's dead."
I tweeted out. I tweeted out. Sammy, he must have failed his driver's test a few times.
And Excalibur said Hardy was able to avoid it. No shit, anybody can avoid it.
Yeah,
A paraplegic could avoid that.
Right. It was just, man,
yeah,
what was that? That was bad.
So, and they get up on this tree picker, cherry picker, whatever. They go up a little bit as they're fighting there. I would say it was about, I don't know if it was 10 feet, whatever. And Sammy spears Matt Hardy off of it. They go off, and there's two tables set there, but they overshot one, and Hardy's head hits the cement and ground, and he looks knocked out.
No, like him. He didn't look knocked out. He was knocked out. Like,
well, technically, if you look knocked out, you're not. Anyways, that's I'm just
he was
trying
stiff,
to be. Yeah, he was out.
Stiff as a board. Like,
they stopped the like they try to continue, and then Aubrey was like, "No." They get the doctor. The bell rings. Sammy like goes away, and they're selling it like a match is over with the announcers and being all sad or whatever. And then Matt Hardy comes, and the match restarts.
Yeah,
they go up on the scaffolding support beams for the stage, and Sammy falls off and goes through the stage, and he loses. So I don't know. I'm guessing Matt wanted just to continue.
Yeah,
and get right to the finish.
So basically, this is what happened. They were initially going to end the match, but supposedly throughout this whole thing, Dr. Sampson cleared him, which I don't know how he can possibly clear someone within that short of time span, but supposedly that is what happened, and they continued with the match. I don't agree with it. This thing should have ended right there, and then especially with how he landed, it's just there's just no excuse for that. And man, once that happened, you saw Rebby just. I mean, there's one thing you don't want to do in a wrestling business is piss off Rebby Hardy. She was going after everybody in AEW, in the media, everything. Like, she was none too happy, and I can't blame her. This was just bad. I mean, and I don't fully put this on Sammy, but I mean, this is now 2 times now to where he's hurt somebody, and yeah, it's kind of hard to protect him there, but they overshot.
They should have put at least another table there,
right? But it's just they need, and I said this from the at the start of the stream here, they need to tone it down. Like this, just these crazy insane spots just don't need to freaking happen. It's just completely unnecessary. And why like Matt agreed to this spot, I don't know why. He's 45 now. Like, it's just really just unnecessary. That's all that I can really say. Yeah.
We move on to the AEW Women's Championship. Kiyoshida versus Thunder Rosa. I wrote, I went better than Thunder Rosa and Serena Deeb ?
Pretty damn close, I felt.
It was close. I know I almost at one. And why I said that, thinking maybe halfway through the match, was if that match was better than this title match. It seemed there was no energy from any of the crowd.
Yep.
it another match. It seemed like it dragged for me, maybe because it's the energy. But still, it was somehow still a top women's match in AEW, by far. Yeah, it's just like after a while, like halfway through, like it was just like, okay, let's go, because there was no energy, and it just took me out of it, viewing this experience. But the match itself was all right, I would say. It was nothing really bad. It was just nothing going on that was keeping my attention. Everybody just seemed out of it, which doesn't help these two. But I believe Sheeta gets the victory here to retain.
Yeah, it was good, as you said. The crowd, and that was an issue all night. So I'm not gonna really put the blame on these ladies here, just because,
No,
they were just working against something just completely out of their control. There, Thunder Rosa. I'm hoping that this is and like her final time here in AEW. They can really use her. Just the problem is now though is like, okay, she beats Thunder Rosa. So like, what next? There's just, and that's the problem. They just don't have anyone in this division right now. Like, and they need to figure out something, whether it's picking up the phone and calling Tessa and trying to get her in, find a way to yeah, like
Dave Elise or somebody.
yeah, like it just this. I mean, this division. Yeah, we just, something needs to freaking happen. Hopefully we get something soon.
Then we have a backstage segment here with Kip Sabian and Penelope Ford announcing they're getting married and they're finding the best man this Wednesday in a subtle shot at WWE, I would say, with Kip promoting his Twitch at the end, and then at the bottom saying message approved by AEW. I went, oh, okay, there's the shot.
Yeah, needless to say, on how this night was going, I wasn't too happy when I saw that. So I was just like, just shaking my head sort of thing.
Then we get to Dark Order versus Dustin Rhodes, QT Marshall, Scorpio Sky, and Matt Cardona. I think you told me this is where JR made that Anna J comment and people were freaking out about wardrobe malfunction, and he wouldn't mind seeing that or something along the lines of that.
Yeah, I mean, like, I didn't care, but man, the whole internet was having a freaking frenzy about that. But I asked myself during this Amen tag, why is this on the show? Because outside of setting up to like Dustin versus Brody Lee, which to me could have like just have been done on Dynamite. This did not have to be on the show. And again, the Dark Order loses again.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
It just, I'm like, what are they doing with this group? They are literally Brody Lee and just a bunch of freaking guys who don't mean a goddamn thing right now.
Yeah. I also wrote, why are they making Matt out to be a dumbass? Why I said that is because anytime he was like in the ring, I don't know, Excalibur was like, well, you gotta pin him, Matt. You gotta do something, Matt. Like he was a newcomer, like he doesn't know what he's doing. That happened multiple times in this match. I'm like, well, be quiet. He knows what he's doing. Everybody like he's I don't know. I picked it. I don't know. I didn't stand out.
That was I mean, hell, like him, JR, he was doing the exact same thing too. It's just like,
he did that too. But I also wrote down, I would negative. I didn't think the match was not bad. Not a bad match. I kind of enjoyed the match as a whole.
That was fine. It's just like I just don't think it really. Yeah, it just didn't. It didn't really accomplish anything, and for how long that the show was, it was really unnecessary. Yeah.
And then I also wrote awesome promo by Dustin afterwards.
Yep.
That
Yep.
was the highlight of that whole segment. Him
Yep.
finding out he has a TNT championship match and just going off. That felt old school to me. I loved it. Best part overall in that match and segment. Then we get to tag team championship Page and Omega versus FTR. The beginning like video package for this match made me realize how better WWE does these promos. This
Yeah. I mean, like,
this promo just I don't know, it fell flat to me. That's the first one like I noticed and I had to write it down. I wrote here you go. I noticed the AEW wrestlers at ringside are lifeless during this match. This felt like it dragged. Again, there was a problem. No energy for this match. Nobody was. It was. That's why it dragged. It felt like it went on too long because there's no energy. It just fell flat for me as an overall match.
Well,
even though the match itself was good, but
yeah, and like some fans they were saying, guys, it's like 95 out here, like we're all completely zapped here and just like just like drenched and stuff, which I'm not gonna really criticize. I mean, like I wish that there was energy, but like hell, if that was me there, I would be doing the exact same thing because I do not want to be sitting out for 6 straight hours watching wrestling in 90 plus.
I'm not
heat there.
I'm not blaming like anybody specifically. I'm not saying these fans suck. I'm just saying the whole situation just took everything out for me. It was not the best, and it just like took matches off of this match for me just because as I'm sitting outside watching this and keeping tabs on the phone and doing other stuff, it's just like my focus wasn't on the match as much as it wanted to. But regardless, we get new tag team champions as expected. FTR winning, and then Kenny being pissed and just walking out and leaving the arena, Daly's place, and just getting in the car and going. The Young Bucks trying to talk him out of it. And he's pretty much saying I'm done. So most likely, presumably, him and Page are no more.
Yeah, which that was completely expected. It's time for both him and Hangman to get back into singles. It's really needed right now. AEW has more than enough tag teams right now to support the tag team division right now, and they really need to just get some valid contenders and just by how things are possibly going. I would not be surprised if we get Kenny versus Moxley for like Full Gear in November, I think it is. And this would be finally where Kenny is finally gets that singles push that we've been waiting patiently for. So, but you gotta think we're probably getting FTR versus Matt and like Nick Jackson next. So we'll see how long that they hold off on that. Do they possibly do it right away on TV? But I think that would be kind of stupid. I think you need to save that for a pay-per-view there. So.
Yeah, you have Full Gear coming up.
Yeah, in 3 months here. Yeah.
Then we get to the Mimosa Mayhem match. The crowd woke up for this match. Like there was more energy for this match than the previous one, which
why?
As I worked down why first thing. I went Excalibur
Like
keeps forgetting what the liquid is.
I can tell you why. It was Judas.
Yeah, I'm like,
Judas.
still raise people. Yeah, bring him back from the dead. I went, yeah, Excalibur keeps forgetting what the liquid is. He said orange juice. Then he said water at one point. I'll give you orange juice, but he said in the water, or excuse me, most. I went, holy Christ, Excalibur.
Oh yeah. I just text you a really funny meme about that match. I'm sure it might possibly break you. So
Okay, well, I can
can't wait.
share it. Pops up. And I went. I also wrote. We said it last night. This commentary team is bad. What else to say? Oh, Orange Cassidy missed the running PK kick. At one point,
Yeah. I was like, holy shit! Like they he missed that so bad.
Wait a minute. I gotta share. I'm sharing this. Yeah, share screen. Yeah, I know. Can I? Does it come up?
Yeah. I told you, man. It was hilarious. I was wondering what you were laughing at there. So,
Well, got. I was like, I wrote first ever and last mimosa match, please. I said, why Jericho was laying there like he was in a hot tub when he got pushed in, falls in, and he puts his hands up. Damn it, Jericho. And then I went, Tony saying this was one of the greatest referees this year. I wrote, ha.
So, despite your disdain for this, I was expecting this to be a lot worse. This wasn't as bad as you made it out to be. It was just a regular
Bad, but it was
yeah.
I didn't want to see it.
Yeah. But as for what's next, I don't know where you go with either of these guys. The only thing I could possibly think of when it comes to Jericho is they should split up the inner circle. I think it's time. And as for Cassie, I have zero clue where to go.
You would think he goes up and above here, but what's the end game? I don't know.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens there. So
I get to the match. Most looking forward to MJF versus Moxley. And I wrote, and we said it before, with Lance Archer winning, I'm figuring Moxley is winning. That's like the beginning of the match.
Yeah.
There's one point they're outside, and Moxley's bending MJF's fingers. MJF screaming, ref, and the ref says, can't do anything. I went, yes, you can. Count. Do something. Do your job. I can't do anything. Yes, you can. Count and give him a 5. Something. Yeah, that's all. I guess the only criticism I have of that match, which good.
And like even too, and like I thought of you instantly. I was like, yeah, like he lost, but it was in a way where he can like pin the blame on like Wardlow and easily get another title match down the line. But yeah, it's pretty clear to me, Matt. They're going probably with MGF versus Wardlow here, which they were kind of hinting at that earlier in the summer there. And just as you said, how the battle royal ended, there felt like no other explanation or anything that they could do here. So
I just wanted him to go in.
I know, but like his time will come. Just it's not going to be yet. But I don't see Archer beating Moxley. especially like he, I mean, like, yeah, he's had a like few matches where like he's won, but compared to MJF, who was built up way bigger, and and had had a key win over Cody. I feel like this is all being set up to Kenny versus Moxley at Full Gear, and that's where we should have a brand new champion there. So I think that's probably where things are headed.
I'm gonna pull Jim Cornette here. I just wanted to do this so bad. Okay, I had my fun. That was fun.
What a mark! What a mark!
I am a Jim. Oh, I don't want to make too much of a mess. Because honestly, when am I ever going to use this again?
Never, but still withstanding. What a mark! But I think that should conclude our thoughts here on on All Out here, Matt. So if you want to take us home,
you said SmackDown was better than this. And SummerSlam was better than this.
2020 for you there, buddy.
Yeah. So, anyways, thank you everybody for watching this kind of surprise live stream here. Talk about All Out. Our next will be live, I believe, tomorrow night after NXT goes off the air. It's around 10:10. Talking about that, and then again on Wednesday after AEW Dynamite goes off the air around the same time. Talk about that, and then as always, our podcast every Saturday at 3. It was for some reason YouTube was being stupid, and I couldn't select 3 o'clock, but only times in like 15-minute intervals at 3:15. So hopefully it hasn't happened this week, but nonetheless, we have that coming this week. So again, thank you everybody for watching, and we will see you tomorrow for the NXT review.